Thanks for joining me on this episode of Coach ATV. We are still discussing the athletes on the athlete's edge, the wild, wild west of the NIL, as it continues to be interesting to say the least. But we want to kind of delve into the continuation of the real. For those of you that tuned in, thank you for that. The federal legislation and POTUS's actions and how that can empower you as a student athlete. I did kind of go over from a vast audience perspective how those ramifications can be negative if not done correctly or you do not have the proper representation. So, to obviously your benefit, NIL opportunities still exist at the $600 or more compensation. However, with a cap that could potentially be coming, let's just kind of go back and reflect on some initial episodes that we discussed what NIL really is, and that is being able to capitalize on your name, image, and likeness. So there's really even with the limitations, still opportunities depending on how much work you are willing to put in. And I'll say this again, and as I have said this in many episodes, is that no one can take away your right to your name, image, and likeness. So this is where creating your own beyond a brand, for those that have approached you about creating a brand, it's very important to create a enterprise and a nonprofit. This is the point of emphasis here because now this will relieve you of some of the tax implications and keep you compliant, as well as generating as much revenue as possible within your NIL agreements. Which leads me to my next point. So, navigating NIL agreements, these implications are definitely protective in nature of what is in your NIL agreement. So, the beautiful thing about this is that where there is exploitation of outside entities, whether they're nonprofit, for profit, black market deals, you name it, if the shoe fits, wear it, for those that are not athletes that are tuning into this. However, those agreements have to be airtight. Now, the legal jargon and the clauses and considerations need to be strictly considered. And with that being said, as long as you understand the nature of your contract, not necessarily that it needs to be completely one-sided, but that it is airtight and works out to your benefit, those NIL agreements are structured properly is very important. So NIL deal structuring is my next and last point, and I want to talk about that is understanding how to structure your NIL deal. Many athletes, both at the amateur and professional levels, don't want to get their hands dirty, don't want to be involved in the process, and that is probably a big mistake. So being involved and engrossed and engulfed in the process is more important now than ever. So when you are at the table, it is your table. The table is there for you. So it's very important to understand, at least at a basic level. You don't have to necessarily be an expert. That's for representation and representatives like myself or our agencies that are out there that are put together. And so you want to do your homework at least and make sure that you are also being specific about what it is that you want from your representation, from sports marketing to your branding and your enterprises, and that scope of work, that it is very intentional and it is aligned with your values, your core values, and your mission and your vision long beyond your playing days, which is procurement. That I won't share on today's episode, but that is a whole nother ball game. So in closing out, I just want to go back and help you understand that this is a very awesome protective measure that is in place. No, it doesn't allow and allot for as much dollars at varying levels, but this is a way of quote unquote leveling the playing field. I have spoken to student athletes as well as coaches at varying levels of the game, and a lot of those individuals at that mid-major and below level are not aware of how NIL can still benefit you no matter what the budget is at the university that you are at. It's just a matter of being aware that this is a positive thing if you make it. But if not, the continual changes in legislation in the revenue sharing, as well as what can happen as this playing field is leveled, can cause you to be put out of a scholarship. We remain positive on that note, but thank you for tuning in. You can reach out with any questions that you have on my website, Only Serious Inquiries on DM, and you can like, share, and subscribe to Coach ATV on my channel.